Welcome back to Watch It Played. My name is Rodney Smith, and boy am I in a good mood. I just played a fantastic new game. Well, new to me anyway, and I cannot wait to share it with you guys in this video series. Of course, I'm also excited about our Wrath of Ashardalon game. We'll be getting to the gameplay move in the next video. But up first, news and updates. Okay, now this first item, I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to explain it well, but I've been hearing from some of our subscribers that YouTube is having a bit of a problem right now, so when I upload new videos, it's not necessarily showing up in your subscription feed. So if you want to make sure you're seeing all the videos in our series, you might have to go to our channel specifically and check our video listing there so you can make sure you're not missing anything. Anyway, hopefully you'll get this video so you'll know about the problem, and keep an eye on the episode numbers. I guess that's my best advice. We do follow the episode numbers, so if you're on episode 13 and you're pretty sure the last episode you saw was episode 9, then you know something's been missed. I also got a message from Tishla who wanted to point out that the dice cam was a little bit hard to make out in the last video. Actually, there's a couple of reasons for that. There was a little bit of a light glare that was happening, but you'll notice the first couple of dice rolls were pretty clear, and then the rest of them got kind of blurry. Well, my little minion friend, Luke, who was here with me, he played with the camera during one of the takes, and unfortunately adjusted the resolution of the video setting, and so it wasn't capturing it very sharp, and it was hard to make out the dice cam. This will be less of a problem moving forward because I may not use the dice camera in the next few episodes. I'm just trying to refine my whole process here in shooting these videos and trying to make them as efficient, at the same time as interesting and dynamic as possible. In the last video we did some sound effects when the pieces were fighting and some different camera angles, and I'm going to keep experimenting with that stuff, but I might not do it every time. I'm still trying to refine the process here. So bear with me as I work out some of those kinks. The last news update item, I just want to get some feedback from you guys about our Wrath of Ashardalon game that we're playing right now. In the Watch It Played video series, I'm trying to accomplish a few different things. One, I'm trying to teach the game so that people who are watching can learn how the game is played. Through the errors and corrections that you guys point out that you see in my gameplay, I'm hoping to identify the kinds of common errors that other people are going to run into and hopefully be able to avoid. Also trying to create kind of a narrative feeling so that there's an episodic story that you guys want to keep coming back and watching to find out how things end for our heroes. And I guess lastly, I'm trying to create a feel for what the game is like to play. Because it's one thing to watch a review of a game, it's another thing to almost, to be able to participate interactively with the game and to see how it's played and to really be able to tell, is this game something I'm going to enjoy if I was the one sitting at home playing it by myself or with my gaming group. So when it comes to this scenario that we're playing right now, we've got a boss out, we've played several turns. It would be possible for us after defeating this boss to wrap up this game here and say that's the end. Technically in this scenario there is another boss that can be revealed before you complete our objective. So I just want to give you guys an opportunity. If you feel like, okay, we've covered the rules questions that we think would probably come up in most games, you feel like you have a good grasp of the game, it's like, you've just finished a good meal, and you're like, okay, that's good, I don't need dessert. However, if you're craving dessert, if you really feel like you want to see this playthrough to completion, we can keep going. But if we wrap it up here, it allows us to move on to the next game, and I am excited about a couple of the games I'd like to bring out. But I don't want to disappoint the viewers. You were promised a full game. If you want to keep playing with the full game, give me some feedback. I will go with what the majority says, and we'll take it from there. Alright, now it's time for errors and corrections. We only have one. It was pointed out by Fonzie the Capybara. He noted that when our rogue attacked last turn, we forgot to add that item bonus, which would give him a +2 to each attack roll. That could have made a very significant difference. Thankfully, his rolls were either so good or so poor that +2 wouldn't have made a difference. So thank you for pointing that out. That's very important. Let's move on to questions and answers. The first question comes from Rebel Mage, and he wants to know about monsters and how they activate when they're brought out during the villain phase. For instance, if you had a Due Guard and it brought out a new monster, say a Grell, would that Grell activate during the same turn? Now the answer is yes. Here's why. When you think about the monsters that you're collecting during your turn, you got to think of them as kindergarten children. Very nasty, unruly, dangerous kindergarten children. And so you have to line them up in nice single file lines. So what that means is the monsters at the beginning of the line, at the start of the line, are the monsters that you would have brought out earlier in the game. And as the game progresses and you bring out new monsters to attach to your hero, they're going to go at the end of the line. So when you go to activate your monsters, you start at the beginning and you activate them in order. So because that Due Guard activated during your villain phase, there are still other monsters to activate, which may include that new Grell. Rebel Mage also wants to know, what do you do if you brought out the long hallway tile like we did during our game? And instead of drawing a chamber card like we did, you draw another tile card that also has a black arrow. Does that mean you're going to be drawing 2 encounter cards during your villain phase? Now, when I first played this game, I always treated that as, yes, you have to draw 2 new encounter cards. But an FAQ has been released by Wizards of the Coast since this game has been gone to print, and they indicate that no, you only have to draw 1 encounter card. So how lucky for you new players. The next question comes from Rebel Mage as well. I'm going to read it here. It's a little bit longer. He wants to know about the Poison Dart Trap, and really this question applies to all trap cards. He wants to know when exactly is it activated again? Either A, during that hero's villain phase, B, during the villain phase of any hero that's on that tile with the trap, or C, during every hero's villain phase. Well, this is easy to answer. You think of this trap just like we answered that first question about monsters. Your trap is going to go in that nice single file line, and so it's going to get activated during that hero's villain phase only, and you activate it in the order that it's placed in that nice single file line that you created for your monsters. So in your line, you might have monster, monster, trap, monster. You might just have monster, monster, trap. You might have trap, monster, monster. So however it shows up in the line, that is when it activates, and it only activates during that hero's turn. Lastly, Rebel Mage wants to know, do you have to use your move action in order to escape a pit trap? The answer is no. If a card requires you to use up a move action or an attack action, it will say it right on the card. For instance, it might say, in order to disable the trap, instead of using your attack action, roll a dice, and if you get 10 or more, then you disable the trap. Since the pit trap doesn't say anything about that on it, you get to automatically attempt to escape, and if you escape successfully, then you can go ahead and use your move and attack actions. The cards are generally pretty specific. If they require a cost, they will say it on the card. That's the end of our questions. If everything goes well, I will be recording the move action for our next turn today as well, so look for that video appearing very soon after this one.